Okay, let's get straight into it. This little object of beauty is an oil filter cover made by Motone Customs. It fits on here on my Royal Enfield Classic 350. It'll also fit on your Hunter or your Meteor, any of the Royal Enfield 350s with the J series engine. It's not going to give you any more horsepower, it's not going to make you go any faster, but it looks gorgeous. And when you've got bikes as good looking as these, even better. Okay, so let's have a little look at what we've got in the box. If we can open it up. We've got this. Obviously the actual cover itself in all its glory. There we go. And then we've got the 3 new screw fasteners. It's nice of Motone to give us some nice new ones, and of course the Allen key there you can see to help to fasten it on. And we also get a little treat from Motone, some riding chocolate. How about that? Eat me. I think I will. Thank you very much, Motone. At this point though, I'll just point out that there's something that isn't in the box, which is potentially quite important. Certainly more important than a little piece of chocolate anyway. But let's get on with the job and see if it really is as important as I've heard. Now let's move this chocolate out of the way before it gets eaten. I'd just like to talk about the quality of this thing just for a sec. They really are made so nicely. Are these forged or cast? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it. I can't tell. But they're absolutely beautiful. Now I've chosen to get the ridged version because I suppose the design of this harks back in the day of what they might call the golden age of motorbiking or whatever, when motorbike engines got a lot hotter. And things used to have fins on them a lot more. They'd put a fin on anything they could to try and lose a bit of heat. And I thought, because I'm riding a Classic, I thought this design would be more suited to my bike rather than the Union Jack one or the plain one or whatever. But no, these really are nicely made. If you have a look on the website, you'll see they also make a cover for your brake fluid reservoir that matches this one. It's the same brass with the same ridged pattern. They also make both of these in a gloss black and in a matte black with kind of a brushed aluminium effect over the top. And they do ones with Union Jacks on and different patterns and bits and bobs like that. Really nice bits of kit. Now, the important thing to remember is that obviously because this is your oil filter cover, inside there is full of oil. So don't put your bike on the center stand, put it on the side stand. That way the bike will lean over. Most of the oil should tip up away from this area anyway. So when you're going to take this part off, get yourself some tissues or some rag or something to make sure that if you do lose a bit of oil, it doesn't go all over your garage floor. Now, okay, we're about to take this off. This is the first time this has ever been off, I think. So it's as much a surprise for me what will be in there as it is for you. In fact, maybe more. What I do know is that this is quite, if you can see there, it's sprung. Something is sprung in there. I think it's the oil filter itself, I think. So if we hold on, keep your thumb on there, holding the cover on while you unscrew these 3 screws. There's 2, there's 3. I'm surprised we've not lost any oil at the moment. Now, there we go. That's the stock oil cover taken off. Ah, the joys of being under the Heathrow flight path. For heaven's sake, we'll carry on, press on regardless. Okay, so what I was just saying before about the one thing that isn't in the box when you buy it from Motone Customs, and it maybe should be, is this O-ring here. See that? There seems to be a lot of disagreement about how often you should swap that O-ring. But I went down to my local Royal Enfield dealership a few days back and I asked them about this because I wanted to buy one. They've said that even when they service the bikes, sometimes they don't change this O-ring at all. They look at it, inspect it, if it looks okay, they reuse it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube where people say you should always change this O-ring, but I'm not going to believe the people who are sitting at home behind their keyboards. I'm going to believe the certified, qualified Royal Enfield mechanic who says you can leave them in and reuse them. What I'll do is I'll put it back in, I'll reuse it. Obviously I'll look for leaks. If it doesn't leak, then we're all good. Now, it's really struck me when I've taken this one off how much lighter this is than the one from Motone. But of course it will be because this one's made of aluminium. This one's made of brass, about 5 times as heavy. But it reminded me of what I was just saying to you before about how back in the day they'll have wanted to lose as much heat from the bikes as they can. They'd have used metals like aluminium wherever they could because they lose heat a lot better. Or they might have used alloys which were full of copper or had a lot of copper in them, like brass. So in a way, this is an appropriate thing to put back on the bike. So all we do is we pop the O-ring back in there, in the little groove, and we pop it back in. Now I think we can safely say that that is job done. Okay, so that's it, job done. We took the old one off, put the new one on. Easy job, anyone could do that. As for the O-ring, I have reused it, as you know. I'm just going to take the bike for a nice big ride and we'll see how we get on. If it does leak, we'll try again and buy a brand new O-ring. So as you can see, we've popped out for a spin. I've put about 50 miles on the bike and I've been letting the revs get quite high before I've changed gear. I've held it there for a while just to make sure the engine gets a good workout and we can see if this oil seal leaks. Well, there's not a sign of a leak at all there. So maybe Motone Customs shouldn't have had to put an oil seal in that box after all. Right, thank you for watching my video about fitting the Motone Customs oil filter cover. Now, one thing I didn't mention was that if you leave them without polishing them, they kind of patinate. They go like a paler yellow and they go a bit mucky and kind of worn in and look gorgeous. So you can do that, or you can keep them polished up and enjoy the bling. I'll just say it again, if you like the look of my pannier, check it out on my other video. But that's it for now. I'll see you on the next one.